All right, welcome back, everyone, to a bonus episode of A Programmer Plays Super Epic. In this episode, I figured we would run through the RC Roguelite Proto, which I'm betting is going to be, just like a separate thing based on how it's presented. New game. Let's do it. All right, not for distribution. So, you're escaping from prison. Better take a few weapons with you. I'll give you 3 of my finest weapons for free, but please come back to buy more. And remember, you can only change your equipment here in the prison. Okay. You again? Okay, so it costs 200 to upgrade these. So, do we want to bet that this is just purely random? Like it's a true roguelike? Let's give it a shot. Guardian, I will let you sneak out of here if you give me all your cash. Deal? Sure. Don't tell anyone it was me. I want to keep my job. So we didn't have any cash, so... So I'm guessing then that the loop is... that we die, we respawn in there with our cash, we can spend it on upgrades or new weapons, and then we have to lose all of our remaining cash before we can continue the run. Alright. This elevator seems to be out of order. Wonder if they'll fix it soon. This could be great to move fast between floors. Alright. Better take this hack of mine if you want to make some progress. It'll help you reach higher places by double jumping. You can thank us later. Okay. Hey, we can now double jump. Think this out weirder. Let's see if we can find her again. Cool. So, all right. Whoa. That's different. That's quite different. Interesting. So I kind of feel like we just beeline to the correct answer by accident. I kind of want to poke around here a little bit more, since there might be, stuff that we haven't seen. There was definitely other ways that we could go, and I'm betting that the enemies will jump in level a little bit by climbing floors. Alright, don't have a key for this. Did I just now figure out the answer to how the combo system works? That's going to be pretty funny. The answer is to not actually complete the combo, but to stop yourself early. Not worth fighting him. Another new area. Alright. We're going to touch this just to make sure. Right, I'm definitely feeling a little underpowered. So if we go here, okay, so that's, okay. So 0 is where we started. I'm betting that 1 is the other one here. Yeah. All right. Interesting that they start counting from 0. Like, to me as a programmer, that feels very intuitive, but it's not something that you see presented to users very often, you know? Alright, so what did that do for me? Lucky Umbrella card 1. Also, I am noticing that the enemies are staying dead, which is interesting. Oh, okay. Got weapon for sale, but won't tell you which you want to buy it for $100. Sure, let's buy it. Let's see what we get. Life Crutch. Absorbs 2% of total health from enemy when killed. Do you want to equip it now? Yeah, that sounds great. Buy. Okay, so... Interesting, so we can't actually switch it once we get it. I mean, that lifesteal weapon is kind of a easy sell for me. Even if we're getting such small numbers right now that I'm not totally sure that we're going to be even getting any benefit. Oh no, I think I just saw it actually. It was the little pixel that went up. Interesting. Alright, so no key here. I'm wondering... This feels kind of... There's like the question of like how real the roguelike is, right? By which I mean like when we die, is that it? Do we lose the file and have to restart? Or is it a case of you can keep trying the same area and if you want a new one, you just make a new file? I'm kind of betting that this is... You can keep poking away at the same map on the same file. I don't know. It's basically like how mean do I think the developer is feeling, right? Alright, so we got a card. A gem card. I'd love to get descriptions of this, but it doesn't look like that's how it's gonna work. Not having dash after having dash for so long in the main game feels very strange. Yep, I think that was... This is a neat piece of code. Now we can dash on the air and on the ground and air. Press left bumper will dash to the left, and pressing right bumper will dash to the right. Hell yeah. Just talking about this. We've only got the one stamina, so... So it's actually a little heart. That's cute. Nice, some money. Why do I get the sense that lifesteal weapon is probably going to be real good for me? Started this recording, there wasn't much in the way of weather happening, and now it is raining so hard that I'm worried I'm gonna like lose power mid-recording. I'm wondering if the cards are like you turn them in when you die, and that just stacks the odds so that you're more likely to get a good weapon at the beginning. Alright, lobby key. Boy, we are way out here. Oh, did his health persist? If so, that's genuinely surprising to me. Alright. Is that the key that we need? Maybe? Don't love that we can't see on the map yet where the fast travels are. I'm sure that we'll find that, but yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Alright. So this is 1B. Ah, okay. And this goes to a boss? Really? Seems you've run out of lives, buddy. Better invite some friends to earn more. We'll never be a part of your user acquisition scheme. Okay, cool. Key. All right. Sure. All right. So I feel like there's a question that we have to do at this point. Let's see. Does this key let me through here? It does, actually. Huh. Damn. These enemies are surprisingly tough. Like, look at how much damage they did to me. Alright. We don't have the key for this. Let's find out. I'm not feeling very... I don't feel like this is very likely, but can... Yeah, we can't even go through that door. It doesn't even give us the prompt. That's fine. Interesting. So these enemies are back. Meaning it might be that enemies just, you know, despawn according to what region you're in. Which, you know, is fine. I get it. I don't know, that guy was there. chance of us dying is getting increasingly likely. Especially with them doing hits like that. Huh, what's going on there? Did come back. Makes sense because we knocked him off out of the room but didn't kill him. Alright, y'all, you're just trapped in here, stun locked until I clear you all out. The little weight carrying pigs are too dangerous for me to find more expedient. Ooh. 109. Interesting. So the cost went up by 9%. Strange lamp. Damage dealt ranges from 50% to 175%. Well, that's just shitty. So, half damage or slightly less than double damage. I don't want that. I also don't know which spot that goes in. I think that's an uppercut weapon, but that feels like a fairly serious design oversight to not say, like, this is a this weapon. I'll be honest, the novelty of this is wearing thin pretty quickly. Since this is basically just, you know, the game. Now, I imagine that it'll, you know, if I was dying more frequently and, you know, engaging in the actual roguelike elements of this, that might be different. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be dying, so... Woo, that's a lot of damage. They're getting lots of money. Oh. Alright, so we've gotten the key. Boy, we're close to death. Oh, that killed me? Contact damage? Kinda lame. We are dead. Do you wish to try it again? Back to cell. What is this? Card machine. Currently you don't have any extra credit cards to sell. Please come again later. Alright, hold on. Inventory. Okay, we did keep these. New weapon cards. Good job. Check out the weapon upgrades available. Alright, cool. So we can upgrade the weapons that we've got. This one, as far as I know, still has the lifesteal. So we are gonna really invest in it. And now costs more than I've got in order to do that. Lamp actually was a slash attack. Interesting. I thought it was an uppercut, but I was wrong. I mean, I might as well upgrade this because I am swinging it. Swinging that thing. And we'll upgrade this because they're both, like, you know, pretty impactful. Do I want to invest in that? Let's see what else is in this room. You're in this room. So we can get more health. And that costs 300. More stamina. We can go ahead and do that, sure. Come back when you have 2 cards and I'll sell you some attacks. Don't we have 2 cards? I guess they mean 2 of the same, but we've got Lucky Sign card 2. What do you do? I can preserve the previous map and layout, but it'll take 50% of your earnings as compensation. Interesting. Okay. These all cost that much. Interesting that it's got the upside down exclamation point. Let's not, just to see what's different. Like, obviously, we could have kept it and the cash would have been the same, but... Alright, so if we look at it this way, this is the same. Interesting. And would the... Interesting. Okay, so that potentially is actually a huge reset for us. I've lost our keys. Huh. So there's definitely a progression here. Like, Having invested in this a few times, these enemies are a lot easier to kill. I'm pretty sure that we need the key from over here. Interesting. You want to buy it for $218, so another 100% over our last time. Critical walk. 1/10 chance of landing a critical hit. I don't actually know if I equipped it or not. We did. I think that might have actually been a damage downgrade for me, since that's not equipped, but it's fine. I'm maintaining my whole... It is a pretty bad oversight for it not to tell us what kind of weapon it is. Like, that's kind of a classic developer kind of problem, though, right? Where you've seen the item names enough times that you just know that a walk is a downwards attack item. But anyone who's not the developer, how are they supposed to intuit that, you know? Alright, our first gem. Really? Sure. Huh. Well, I'm debating with myself about whether I want to continue this run or call it here, because we've kind of seen the way that the game works. Keep going until we get ourselves into trouble, I reckon. Silly of me. There's an interesting sort of emergent behavior, at least that I've observed in myself. I don't know if this is true for other players when they're playing roguelikes, but when the reset and stuff happens when you die, it actually low-key gives you a perverse incentive to play sloppy and die. I don't think that's intentional. I think that that's just a thing that's kind of hard to avoid when you're making roguelikes. Lifesteal weapon is a really good get. are consumables. It's a little surprising to me, Roguelite, getting those. I guess it's not that surprising. Definite problem that I'm running into here is I think we've seen basically the same room like 4 times. And that just happens with procedural generation, which I'm sure that this layout is. The only way to really avoid that is to have a big enough catalog of rooms that you can make rules that say, like, don't use the same room twice, or have the rooms have enough variance inside of them that the player doesn't notice. But like, the rooms were feeling kind of samey even in the main game, and here we are again. Surely that's enough cards for her, right? I wonder what room we're in. It's basically the same room, but this time it's got a plant at the bottom. Oh, we got bombs. That's actually significant. All right, there's the key that we needed. Didn't even see the attack animation happen. It happened so quickly. It could be. In fact, I'm willing to bet that it probably is the case that this early game area, they have to use kind of a more limited set of vertical rooms than other areas because the player might not have double jump yet, might not have as many movement abilities, and so just literally can't make it through some of the other rooms, so they have to have that kind of staircasing effect. Is this the right key for this? Ah, oh, dang it. Something that's very hard to do with procedural generation is making like shortcuts and ways that the level can like loop around in on itself. it's very tricky to do that in ways that don't just break themselves immediately. Which is unfortunate because it means that the levels end up feeling kind of simplistic. Alright, same dialogue. Come on. Interesting that we got more chests this time. Huh. Right, well, you avoid being down there. Alright, here we go again. Touch this just to make sure that it's registered. It's amazing how much difference that makes. To the gameplay. Not totally sure how the armor system in this game works, because I'm pretty sure that there is like a defense stat that enemies have, and we're not just like going straight against their health, because previously we were, when we were fighting those enemies, we were doing 1 damage per hit, and we were able to win eventually, but it wasn't super fast. Now we're doing like 12 damage, so like we've managed to get past their defense or something. Hello. Gotcha. You must have at least 2 gotcha pawn cards to use this machine. Huh. I guess that is unique to the Roguelite, because I don't remember seeing that in the main game at all. Alright. Key. Huh. She stayed in the corner. Right then. I was too focused on the enemies ahead and not focusing on the enemy that had just been dropped at my feet. Let's go back to the cell. I'm curious if anything else changed here. Alright, no extra cards to sell. Alright, so I could upgrade the walk. We'll hold that thought until after we've talked to the others. How can we help you? Alright. Just straight up better defense. And this is kind of what I was talking about for enemies. I kind of suspect that they have a similar thing. And what do you got? Alright, so we can't afford that. So we could afford some health. Can't afford more, which is unfortunate. Could afford more stamina, which would be nice. Now we're fairly poor again. Huh. Interesting that these two cost the same. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call it there. It's been interesting. The run will end, you'll restart from prison. Okay. So does that mean, hold on, we will find out one more thing. Okay, yeah. 8%, 2 runs. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think the roguelite is as fun as the main story mode, which makes sense. It's a side bonus thing. I'm sure that this was a case of the developers looked at what they had and were like, you know, we could do this with this, and it wouldn't be that much more work. Just hard to make stuff like that, like, super compelling. Like, you know, there's only so much you can do. But I enjoyed that. I don't think I'll check it out again, because it's not like the roguelite has a story to it, right? And I don't think it's going to introduce much new mechanically. It did introduce a few things, which I was surprised by. The gacha mechanic, but I'm not super compelled by gacha stuff. So, yeah, that's where we're going to call it for this bonus episode. YouTube, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next game. Until then, bye!